Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, here at Knoch Athletic Stadium as you're listening to WPIAL football right here on the High Top Sports Network. I'm Adam Morganti, and joining me is my partner, Mason Flanagan, to bring you the visiting Indiana Little Indians in the host Knoch Knights. It's homecoming week on this Friday night. Beautiful fall evening for Friday night football. It'll be 65 right now. And let's talk about the games for both these teams from last week, Mason. Indiana comes in with a record of 3-2 and a record of 1-1 in conference play, and Knoch has a record of 1-4 overall with a record of 0-2 in conference play. So, Mason, how did these teams fare last week?
As we mentioned, a little bit of a mixed bag of success for Indiana, but as I look back, they lost 35-14 to Greensburg-Salem, so obviously they're looking to bounce back. Knoch hasn't won since they were at Deer Lakes a few weeks ago. Of course, they've been conference play losing to Armstrong last week. Now, Armstrong, a tough team to beat in this local area, and you got to bounce back, and he else but the Little Indians.
Yeah, and for Armstrong, they didn't score a touchdown till the fourth quarter when their backup quarterback had a rushing touchdown, Aiden Jones. And for Indiana last week, they lost to Greensburg-Salem, not there. They lost to Greensburg-Salem 2 weeks ago here. They lost to Greensburg-Salem 34-13. In that game, quarterback for Indiana, Devin Flint, had 19 carries for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and also running the ball well for Indiana was Zach Harrington. He had 18 carries for 128 yards. But yeah, both these teams in Greater Allegheny Conference play. Indiana right now, as we speak, sits at fifth place, in the Greater Allegheny Conference, and Knoch is in 7th place. When these teams played last year, Indiana won 29-6, although Knoch has won the last game here in Saxonburg 56-28. In that game last year, Flint went 3 for 3 for 66 yards, but had 20 carries for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Harrington, he also had a good day on the ground, 13 carries for 72 yards, with 2 touchdowns on the evening. Once again, conference matchup here. You're listening to it on the High Top Sports Network. I'm Adam Morganti, and joining me is Mason Flanagan. As we will take a short break as you're listening to WPIAL football right here on the High Top Sports Network.
Just finishing up a 100% outside renovation project in Containing Store. Don't miss out. Come and see us. Check out our Pennsylvania skill game room. We have the newest machines, the newest games. We have 5 machines. We're about to add a 6th machine. $10,000 jackpots on all 6 machines. Don't miss out on a chance to win. We have the lowest possible prices and the best quality of anybody in the area. We'll take it up against anybody in the area. We put our stamp of approval, #SableMeat, on every single package, and we're here to serve you every single day. We also have chef-prepared, chef-quality prepared sushi, everyday fresh, and Sushi Wednesday, $5 sushi rolls, and you can win by liking and sharing our favorite page, Sushi Madness shirt. Don't forget to check out our millions of bakery deli products that we're making fresh every day. Appreciate all the support out there. We can't do what we do without you. Come and see us.
Shop and Save at Franklin Village is a family-owned, community-dedicated supermarket with a wide variety of quality food and friendly personnel to make your shopping experience easy. Stop by their award-winning butcher shop where you'll find the freshest cuts of USDA-inspected beef, pork, and poultry. Head to the bakery for the freshest bread and rolls, and don't forget to stop by the deli for an excellent selection of cold cuts, meats, cheeses, and prepared foods like their fantastic fried chicken. That's Shop and Save at Franklin Village.
Douglas Insurance Services, located in Sarver next to Freeport High School, is an independent insurance agency, which means they've made available some of their best companies for your online quick quotes. Douglas Insurance Services offers personal insurance coverages to their clients in Pennsylvania, including individual annuities, boat and watercraft, auto, condo, and flood insurance. Call them today at 1-800-722-9990. Douglas Insurance Services, a proud sponsor of Freeport Athletics.
Just finishing up a 100% outside renovation project and containing store. Don't miss out. Come and see us. Check.
Douglas Insurance Services, located in Sarver next to Freeport High School, is an independent insurance agency, which means they've made available some of their best companies for your online quick quotes. Douglas Insurance Services offers personal insurance coverages to their clients in Pennsylvania, including individual annuities, boat and watercraft, auto, condo, and flood insurance. Call them today at 1-800-722-9990. Douglas Insurance Services, a proud sponsor of Freeport Athletics.
Welcome back to Knoch High School as we are about 9 minutes away from kickoff between the Indiana Little Indians and the Knoch Knights. I'm Adam Morganti. Joining me is Mason Flanagan here on the High Top Sports Network for homecoming in Mason. For us covering Knoch all year, we know they like to run the ball, but Indiana, they're also a team that is really a run-heavy offense.
We got another triple option style team. I was down alongside the field earlier. I was watching their quarterback, Devin Flint. It just didn't look like the best spiral on the football. So that explains, you expect to see him on the ground. It seems like maybe a carbon copy of the Geneva College Golden Tornadoes if you want to talk about a higher level team. I'm not sure how many other listeners are familiar if you knew that, but if you know, then if you're familiar with them, then you'll know, hey, this is what we can expect to see down here on the field from Indiana.
Yeah, so for those tuning in here to our live stream, maybe be prepared for a short game, as once again, both teams do love to run the ball. For Indiana's quarterback, Devin Flint, he's only attempted 12 passes all year. He's 7-12 for 100 yards with 1 interception. He leads the way for this Indiana ground attack with 88 carries, 534 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's good for 6.07 yards per carry. They also have three more guys they like to use in the running game. Zach Harrington, he has 61 carries for 440 yards and 5 touchdowns. Corbin Wilson has 35 carries for 303 yards with 5 touchdowns. And Liam McFarland has 17 carries for 158 yards. So I guess, Mason, give me a player on each team to look out for in this game.
Well, when I look here, I'm going to go with Devin Flint. Obviously, he's got that ability to pass a little bit, but he also leads the rushing attack. So you don't want to sleep on his arm. He does have a decent arm. And then, of course, we can't forget about Keegan Frazier, the battle of the quarterback, so sometimes quarterback if we want to say for not. But you can't sleep on the main offensive producers for this team. One of them is going to get their team to bounce back tonight here in the stadium.
Yeah, and I talked to Coach Brandon Mallory as they were coming off the field after warm-ups, and I saw both Carson Kasecki and Keegan Frazier throwing the ball in warm-ups. So I asked Coach, hey, do you know who your starting quarterback is? And he's like, I still haven't decided yet. So if he doesn't know who the starting quarterback is going to be, we don't know, so we won't know who Knoch's starting quarterback is going to be until their first offensive snap. And another thing for Knoch, they did end their losing streak in the regular season, but they do have a conference losing streak going. They have lost 12 conference games in a row dating back to 2019, so perfect opportunity. This will be each team's third conference game of the season.
So you see the Knights on the field right now, just taking the field. Expect to see the Indians here in a few moments.
Let's go over the officials for tonight's game. The head referee in the white cap is Andy Rosardi. The umpire is Steve Nash. The linesman is Ed Forzati. The line judge is Joey Touchstone. Another official is Vaughn Mayfield, Hempfield, the field judge, and the side judge is Jessica Mawadia. So those are your officials for tonight's game. Knoch so far this year, 1-4, losing to Central Valley, Freeport, Greensburg, Salem, and Armstrong, and defeating Deer Lakes. Indiana, 3-2 so far on the year, losing to Ligonier Valley, beating Burl, beating Derry, beating Plum, and losing last week to Greensburg, Salem. Well, if you're a football fan and you like teams that like to run the ball, really can't ask for a better game for you right here. Yeah, that's for sure, because these teams, once again, they love to run the ball, and we've seen it with Knoch all season. If it's 3rd and 10, they're still going to run the ball. It doesn't matter. They are very, very committed to the run game. So is Indiana, as their quarterback. Flint has only attempted 12 passes all year.
Yeah, well, and like you back to last week, Knoch only attempted 2 passes, only completed 2 passes against Armstrong in that tough loss against the Riverhawks. We're getting ready for the coin toss down the field. Adam, I want to go back to one you mentioned when you talked to Coach Maury, saying that he wasn't sure who his starting quarterback would be. You have to think, is that a good thing that you have 2 guys capable of doing the job? And you don't know which one you want to go with yet, and you can switch, go back and forth, take one out, put another one in.
The non-captains are Keegan Frazier, Luke Goodling, Alex Cotton, and Logan Clem. We'll get the captains for Indiana for you as well. Devin Flint, Zach Harrington. Trying to get the other numbers for you as well. Amari Brown. And the last captain for Indiana, trying to find my roster here, just all these papers all scrambled up for me. Last captain for Indiana is number 5, Fox Van Leer. And Knoch has won the toss, and they have received. And they will be moving from left to right. As we will take a quick break, as kickoff is coming soon between Indiana and Knoch here on the High Top Sports Network.
Shop and Save at Franklin Village is a family-owned, community-dedicated supermarket with a wide variety of quality food and friendly personnel to make your shopping experience easy. Stop by their award-winning butcher shop where you'll find the freshest cuts of USDA-inspected beef, pork, and poultry. Head to the bakery for the freshest bread and rolls, and don't forget to stop by the deli for an excellent selection of cold cuts, meats, cheeses, and prepared foods like their fantastic fried chicken. That's Shop and Save at Franklin Village.
Just getting ready for kickoff here is once again Knoch will receive. Back deep for the Knights is Carson Kasecki and Xavier Johnson, and doing the kicking duties for Indiana will be Brock Miller. Johnson and Kasecki are about their own 10-yard line. Here's the run-up, slow run-up by Miller, and we're underway here for homecoming night here from Knoch High School. Ball will be taking one of the up man about the 24-yard line. He's able to break tackle. That's Keegan Frazier. He's able to carry multiple Indiana defenders with him. Good return. It gives Knoch excellent starting field position. Be 1st and 10 for Knoch, ball at about, we'll call it the Knoch 47-yard line. Yeah, Frazier, for the first couple games, he was back deep with Kasecki and Johnson, but he was one of the up men there. And it looks like the starting quarterback is Carson Kasecki with Frazier to his left. Kasecki gives it to Frazier, and he runs towards the near side of the field, but he's not going to get much yards. Nothing going there. Gets maybe 1 yard on the play. Harrington made the stop for Indiana. We gain a 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd down and 9 for Knoch.
That's probably the beautiful thing about having both Frazier and Kasecki. You can put them both in the backfield at the same time. You never know which one the ball is going to get snapped to.
Kasecki in at the quarterback. Now Johnson goes in motion to give this to Johnson on jet sweep, but he is brought down immediately at the 46-yard line of Knoch. Great tackle there made by Zach Harrington as he was in on the first tackle. Now bring up a 3rd and long for the Knoch Knights. Make it a 3rd and 12.
It was a nice run to start the game for Frazier, but then the second play of the game, you negate all those yards that you gained.
Knoch in the same formation. Johnson the motion man. Kasecki now, he rolls out. He looks at throw. He throws down the field. That is incomplete. Johnson, the intended receiver, at about the Indiana 45-yard line. So Knoch goes 3 and out on its first possession of the game.
Yeah, both teams have a little passing ability. I know we saw it back out, and whenever we went down to Deer Lakes, we saw that Keegan Frazier does have a decent arm for passing.
Back deep for Indiana is Corbin Wilson at his about his own 22-yard line. Trisciani will punt at his own 32 for Knoch. Low snap, but has no trouble with it. He's able to get it off to Wilson. He has some running room. He makes a man miss. He's up past the 30. He'll be brought down at his own 33-yard line. Devin Whitaker made the stop for Knoch, and Indiana now will start its first possession with 10:25 left here in the first quarter. No score.
Leading the charge, Devin Flint, 7 for 12 passing only, but he has 534 rushing yards on 88 attempts for an average of 6 yards an attempt. Watch out, Indiana's numbers, yards per attempt, very impressive.
Yeah, Flint in that triple option offense, and the give is up the middle, and it's fumble on play, and it's recovered by Knoch. Trying to see who came up with the fumble recovery. But regardless, Knoch takes over. Excellent field position at the 36-yard line of Indiana.
We'll see if Coach Mowers has something cooking up here to get this huge homecoming crowd, something to cheer about early.
Gavin McGowan recovered the fumble for Knoch. He's recovered a few fumbles so far this year, and he was Johnny on the spot right there. 1st and 10 for Knoch at the Indiana 36-yard line. 10:19 remaining here in the opening quarter. Kasecki in the gun now. Frazier flanks out now. Little lateral to Frazier, but Indiana's not fooled by that as he's brought down immediately on the play. He will lose a few yards on the play. Fox Van Leer made the tackle for Indiana.
Now it's a tough way to start off a drive. They're throwing out into the flat. They say it didn't lose a yard though. 2nd and 10. Surprised by that call?
2nd and 10 for the Knights. Kasecki in at the quarterback, Frazier to his right. Kasecki now gives to Frazier. He goes up the middle, tries to get the 35, and I don't think the officials will even give him the 35. We'll probably get right by the scrimmage. Nygren made the stop for Indiana. No gain, 3rd down.
Yeah, this is a battle of the trenches here tonight so far.
3rd down and 10 for Johnson now, he goes up the middle, but Indiana's not fooled on that.
Johnson up the middle, not really much gain. Some Indiana players think they have it. No fumble though.
It'll be 4th down for Knoch. 4th and 10. 4th and 7 now for the Knights. As Tristiani is on to punt. Wilson back to receive the punt. And roll inside the 10-yard line, and it'll be at the 9-yard line. So great stand by the Indiana defense after McGowan had a fumble recovery after Knoch fumbled the ball. No score, 8:07 remaining here in the opening quarter of play. Flint will be out there again for the Indiana offense. Man goes in motion. He pitches it now. Looks like that's Harrington on the play. Up past the, actually it's McFarland, up past the 10. Gain of 3 will make it 2nd down and 7 for Indiana. Flint under center. Now he does an audible. So check with me. Play clock now winding down, now at 8 seconds. Now Flint will keep it himself. He'll get up past the 15 and be tackled at the 17-yard line.
Check 1, 2. I think we got the other mic back. Sorry, we had some issues going on there.
Be 3rd down and 6 now for Indiana. 3rd and 2, actually, excuse me. Ball now at Indiana's 17-yard line. Flint now they give this to the first man up the middle, and he will have enough for the 1st down.
The first down for Indiana. They only had the ball for one play on their first drive, which they fumbled it and lost it to Knoch.
Zach Harrington was the ball carrier on that play of 1st down for Indiana. Flint under center. 6:20 remaining in the opening quarter. No score. Now a toss on the play. That is to Corbin Wilson. And he's fumbled on play. McGowan recovers and he's able to walk into the end zone for the Knoch Knights touchdown. He forces a fumble, and McGowan does the rest of the work himself. His second fumble recovery on the game gives Knoch a 6-0 lead here with 6:08 remaining in the first quarter.
I've been saying it's a battle in the trenches all night with these two running teams. Whichever team controls that line of scrimmage and can force some fumbles. As we've seen, Knoch has done a great job of it, and now they've given this homecoming crowd something to cheer about.
Tristiani on to attempt the extra point for Knoch. That kick is up. That kick is through the uprights and good. The 6:08 remaining in the first quarter. Knoch leads Indiana 7-0 here on homecoming. So 2 drives for Indiana, 2 fumbles. Both of the recoveries was from Gavin McGowan, and he was able to waltz into the end zone on that last fumble recovery.
Oh, beautiful play right there. Getting it in, the fumble ending up being a touchdown for the defense. Who would have predicted with 2 explosive running offenses that we would have seen a defensive touchdown first tonight?
Yeah, the pitch there was Harrington, and that play was blown up from the beginning, and McGowan, he was tackling him, and he's like, hey, look what I found. I found this football, and I walk into the end zone myself with it to give Knoch the 7-0 lead. Wilson back deep for Indiana. Tristiani will do the kicking duties for Knoch. Standing inside their own 10. Here's the kick. Wilson is able to get it. Great tackle at the 25-yard line. Nevin Peart made the stop for Knoch, make it 1st and 10. Indiana, there is a penalty on the play, first penalty of the game. Andy Rosardi is our official tonight.
It was thrown in the backfield of the
holding against the Little Indians, now backing them up 10 yards. They'll go all the way to their 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for Indiana. Once again, 2 possessions for Indiana, 2 fumbles, and McGowan is able to return that fumble for a touchdown for Knoch, and that's why Knoch is up 7-0 with 6:03 remaining in the second quarter. Flint under center with McFarland and Harrington back there. And the give is up to middle at about the 20-yard line. Flint will just keep it himself. Peart made the stop for Knoch. I'll pick up about 5 yards on the play, make it 2nd and 5 for Indiana.
Indiana did have that one first down in the last drive before fumbling the ball, so some signs of life already.
Flint now, he gives to the man up the middle, that's Harrington. And he will have enough for the first down. Jake Murphy made the stop for Knoch, but not until he picks up a first down for Indiana. 5:16 now remaining in the opening quarter. 26 Indiana has the ball at the 26-yard line. Down by 7. Flint under center once again in that triple option formation. Flint will keep it himself. He'll go up the middle. He's up past the 30. He takes a few Knoch defenders with him, and he will be down at, we'll call it about the 35-yard line. Murphy and McGowan made the stop for Knoch, and we have the Knoch player injured. We gain a 9 on the play, make it 2nd and 1.
here in the third drive for Indiana. The key would probably be to not turn the ball over again, as turnovers can really doom a team early if you don't. You can't. You got to win the turnover battle. I think any football coach will tell you that you can't go turning the ball over. And as of right now, it's a dagger on Indiana's side in the form of 7 points.
Looked like that injured Knoch Knight was Nicholas Davis, but he's able to walk off the field under his own power. Indiana once again, 1st and 10 for the Little Indians. Or actually 2nd and 1 rather, excuse me, at the 35-yard line. 4:40 and winding left here in the first quarter. Flint under center. He keeps it himself. He has a first down and much more up past the 40. Frazier made the stop for Knoch. He's down at about the Indiana 43-yard line. Gain of about 8 yards on the play. 1st and 10 for Indiana. Once again, Knoch got its first touchdown on a Gavin McGowan fumble recovery. Indiana's able to get together a couple first downs here on this drive. Flint once again, he gives it to Harrington right up the middle, and he's going to be brought down at the 49-yard line. Frazier and McGowan, multiple Knoch defenders there on the stop. They'll actually give him midfield, make it 2nd down and 4 for Indiana. Now Flint, he keeps it himself. He goes up the middle for the first down in the Knoch territory. Making the tackle for Knoch was Alex Cotton, and did a little bit of a WWE suplex move to bring him down. But still, Indiana, after having 2 fumbles in its first drive, is able to move the ball here and get the ball to Knoch territory for the first time this evening.
Yeah, that just shows there why he's the leading rusher for this Indiana team. And of course, you're going to mention that on the trenches. Which trench has the more grit?
Flint gives it Harrington, but before that, officials blow the whistle. Looks like it's going to be offsides against Knoch. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Knights, and instead of 1st and 10, it'll be 1st and 5. At the Knoch 36-yard line, trying to tie this game up at 7 with 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Knoch up 7-0. Flint under center. And he got Knoch to jump again. Great hard count there. And Indiana just got a free first down via 2 offsides penalties.
Well, Indiana's had 2 first downs on this drive, and if there's a buy 2, get 1 free sale, Indiana's taking it right now on this drive. If you got a smart enough play in your playbook to get a team to jump off sides, why not grab 2 of them?
Absolutely, and that moves the ball to the Knoch 31-yard line. It's Flint now, quarterback for Indiana. Now we got a whistle. Looks like Brandon Mallory of Knoch is taking a timeout. He figured two offsides penalties in a row. Let's get our guys calmed down. Brandon Mallory is in his 3rd season as the Knoch Knights head coach. He has a record of 7-15 coming into tonight. And he has been a Knoch coach since 2004, where he started as an assistant coach. He was assistant coach for the offensive line, defensive line, and linebackers. And his day job, he's an analyst for the U.S. Office of Personnel Management Retirement Operations Center. So Brandon Mallory was on this coaching staff the last time that Knoch made it to the WPIAL championship. That would be in 2011, so he really knows this Knoch team really well.
Coach Mallory, of course, earlier on in the season, ending that long drought of no wins for the Knights, and now tonight, no better time to end your section conference losing streak, and in front of your homecoming crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Great crowd, classy crowd, Knoch crowd. Pink out here in the student section for Knoch. Looks like neon in the Indiana student section. They made about the hour trip from Indiana. 1st and 10, ball at the 31-yard line. Now Flint will pitch it to McFarland, and he has nowhere to go. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Cotton made the stop on the play for Knoch, bringing up a 2nd and 11 for the Little Indians. Knoch leads 7-0, 2:13 remaining in the first quarter. Knoch got a touch on Gavin McGowan fumble recovery. Flint now looks over to the sideline for instructions. Plenty of time still on the play clock for Indiana. Now Flint will keep it himself. He has a little bit of a hole and gets a good chunk to make it a 3rd and medium. Cody Mullen made the stop for Knoch on the play.
Yeah, don't want to have a 3rd and long right now. It's a minute 45 to go in the first. Still a bit of a long field goal. You don't want to be kicking from this far out here, just inside the 30.
3rd and 6 for Indiana. Ball at the Knoch 27-yard line. Indiana's 0 for 1 on 3rd down so far tonight. Flint will give it up to middle to Harrington, and he's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down. Decision time now for Coach Brandon Overdorf for Indiana. Be 4th and 1.
That looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, quickly Flint is at the line. Trying to draw a Knoch off sides, but they're not biting here this time. Now Flint, he'll just keep it himself and move the pile forward. Well, plenty of 1st down yardage inside the 20-yard line. As Indiana has entered the red zone, down by 7 here with 34 seconds and winding in the opening quarter.
Hey, wow, Adam, you talked about this clock was going to move fast in this game. It's hard to believe. We're already getting into the 2nd quarter.
Flint under center, Harrington behind him. McFarland, the motion man. Now Flint, he'll keep it himself off of right tackle, and he's not going to pick up a couple yards on the play. He'll get brought down at about the 15-yard line. Gain of 3, making it 7-7. And that'll be the end of the first quarter here from Knoch Knights Athletic Stadium as Knoch leads Indiana 7-0 as you are listening to WPIAL football on the High Top Sports Network. We're going to take a short break here. Welcome back to Knoch High School. Knoch leads Indiana 7-0. Though Indiana is threatening as they have the ball at the Knoch 15-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Knoch got its touchdown on a Gavin McGowan fumble recovery on Indiana's 2nd possession. Indiana already has 2 turnovers, and those two turnovers did go to Gavin McGowan. But Indiana threatening here looking to tie up this bowl game. 2nd and 7 now. Flint will keep it himself. He'll get inside the 15-yard line. Will be a couple yards shy of the first down. Luke Goodland made the stop for the Knoch Knights. Bring up a 3rd down and 4. They'll gain 3 for Flint.
The big 3rd down here, you don't want to. If you get to the 4th down, you don't. You could give Knoch an opportunity for a goal line stand.
Flint now will keep it himself, and he bulldozes over some Knoch defenders. That'll set up a 1st and goal for Indiana. Flint just called his own number there again. Indiana's first 3rd down conversion of the game, and Indiana has it 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 11:04 remaining here in the 2nd quarter on homecoming night here at Knoch High School. Harrington behind Flint. Motion man is Wilson. Flint will keep it. Once again, he gets inside the 5. He's trying to get a few defenders in to ride with him. Did he get to the goal line? He did. Touchdown. Great effort by Devin Flint. He had his offensive line of Fisher, Anderson, Cochran, Clark, and Beatty helping him there, but great run by Flint. It looked like he was maybe only going to pick up 2 or 3 yards, but he carried pretty much everyone on the team with him, make it 7-6.
Yeah, that's what I said. The battle on the trenches tonight. Whichever team has more grit on their side, on their offensive line, to get some better blocks, that could very well easily become a win.
Miller's extra point is no good as it hits off the upright. So Knoch does yield a touchdown, but after that missed extra point, it's Knoch 7, Indiana 6 with 10:44 remaining in the 2nd quarter. But great job by Indiana. Its first 2 possessions, 2 fumbles, one of them resulting in a Gavin McGowan fumble recovery for a touchdown. But great job by Indiana just establishing their run game on that drive. Devin Flint with the rushing touchdown. And once again, they didn't pass the ball a single time on that drive.
That's tough there on special teams. You've got to be able to make those extra point kicks. As we've seen some tight games this season so far.
Johnson and Kaseki will back to receive for Knoch at their own 10-yard line. Miller will kick from his own 40 for the Little Indians of Indiana. Here's a run-up and the kick from Miller. It's a high kick taken by one of the up men. Looks like that's Cody Bowen on the play. The freshman linebacker will be down at the 38-yard line, as looks like on Indiana's first 2 kickoffs, they don't want to kick it deep to Kaseki and Johnson. So decent field position for Knoch at its own 38-yard line. Up by 1 with 10:40 left in the 2nd quarter, as they have not picked up a first down so far in this game. Now Frazier is in at quarterback. We thought we'd maybe see that tonight. He takes a direct snap, runs off right tackle, and he's able to put his head down and get past the 40-yard line. We brought down at the 42-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play, make it 2nd down and 6. Seven to 6, actually 2nd and 5, excuse me. It's been a while since Knoch has been out here on offense, as they got their touchdown via McGowan fumble recovery. Frazier in at quarterback, as Kaseki was the quarterback for the first 2 drives. As looks like we're going to get an illegal motion here as Xavier Johnson, he didn't get set. Or they call it full start. They like to do that jet sweep motion to Xavier Johnson. It looked like he just went a little too early there. That'll back up Knoch to their original field position at the 38-yard line. Second down and 10. Indiana responded to Knoch's touchdown with a touchdown of their own with a Devin Flint 6-yard rushing touchdown, but Miller missed the extra point. Now Frazier, he fakes it to Johnson and goes off left tackle. Takes a few Indiana defenders with him. Corbin Wilson made a tackle for Indiana. Gain of 6, make it 3rd down and 4 for the Knights. 9:05 remaining here in the second quarter. Frazier, the quarterback. Now he rolls out, looking to throw. He throws a floater downfield, and that is incomplete. Xavier Johnson, the intended receiver, Corbin Wilson in coverage, and it looked like Johnson had to play the role of quarterback there and just bat that down to make sure Wilson didn't come down with the interception. So another 3-and-out for Knoch to make it a 4th and 4. Tristani back to punt at his own 31-yard line. Wilson back deep to receive at his own 28-yard line for Indiana. High punt, good punt as Wilson signals for the fair catch, and he will take that fair catch at his own 21-yard line. That's where Indiana will take over with 8:43 remaining in the second quarter of this 4A Greater Allegheny Conference matchup between Knoch and Indiana. Knoch coming into this game 1-4, 0-2 in conference. Indiana 3-2, 1-1 in conference.
Don't be sleeping on the Indiana defense. We've been shutting it down against Knoch all night so far. The offense yet to have that big play that that really moves us.
Flint waiting for signals from the Indiana sideline. Plenty of time, play clock now at 20. Flint under center, Harrington right behind him. And that triple option, Wilson in motion. The pitch is to Wilson towards the far side of the field. Tries a stiff arm. Carson Kasecki wasn't having any of that. Great stop by him. We'll give him a gain of 2 and make it 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 23-yard line of Indiana. Knoch leads, 8:12 remaining here in the second quarter. Indiana scored on its last drive on a Devin Flint 6-yard rushing touchdown. Flint will keep it himself, but he is gobbled up in the backfield. Peart and Cotton were in to greet him rudely beyond the backfield. We'll lose 1 yard on play, bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, both defenses doing a good job so far tonight.
Flint under center, play clock now down to 7 on this 3rd and 9. Flint now, he's back to pass, goes deep down the sideline. That is incomplete. Keegan Frazier in coverage. Corbin Wilson, the intended receiver, make it a 4th down and 9. First pass by Indiana all night. Only Flint's 13th pass attempt of the season.
Yeah, rare, very rare.
Kasecki back deep for Knoch at his own 40-yard line. Miller for Indiana is sitting at his own 10, waiting for this punt to get off. Good snap. Not a good punt at all. I don't know if the Knoch defender got a hand on it, but Knoch is going to start in Indiana territory as the ball goes down at the Indiana 49-yard line. Ball down on the play for Indiana. That's Alec Clark. Knoch can take over first and 10 at the Indiana 49-yard line.
Yeah, special teams a big part of it. You got to get a good punt. Even though Knoch was in a terrible field position for that punt, they got to get that out at least another 10 yards or so. You don't want the other team starting in your territory.
Frazier and quarterback gets the first down and much more. Breaks the tackle, be tight, breaks down the sideline. You'll get pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. First down for Knoch. Fox Van Leer was able to push him out of bounds. Gain of about... He's actually pushed out at the 28-yard line. Gain of 21 on the play.
Was that big play that I said was missing for this Knoch offense so far. The defense for Indiana has just been suffocating.
McGowan now in the backfield with Frazier, quarterback. Frazier now takes a direct snap once again. He goes up the middle, but he gets greeted by Indiana wall. So he'll make it back to the line of scrimmage. McCracken made the tackle for Indiana. Make it no gain, second down and 10. 6:38 remaining here in the second quarter. Once again, stay tuned for homecoming here, as the homecoming king and queen will be crowned here at Knoch High School, along with both Indiana and Knoch bands, so you don't want to miss that here at halftime. 2nd and 10 for Knoch. Ball at the Indiana 28-yard line. Knoch leads by 1. Johnson in motion. They give those to McGowan right up the gut. Will be brought down at about the 26-yard line. Niagara made the stop for Indiana, so call it 2 yards on the play, bring up a 3rd and 8. Knoch has yet to convert a 3rd down so far in this game. As it's second quarter, not the first, I just forgot to change it on the scoreboard, but 3rd down and 8 for Knoch at the Indiana 26-yard line. Frazier now back by himself. Johnson goes in motion. Frazier keeps it himself. First down at the middle, and much more. He's able to glide into the end zone for the Knoch Knights touchdown. Keegan Frazier pretty much goes untouched, goes 26 yards for the rushing touchdown to give Knoch a 13-6 lead with 5:43 remaining in the second quarter.
Wow, that just speaks to the explosiveness of Keegan Frazier. You think you got to have him completely tied up. You're not going to stop him. His feet keep moving. Through his strong base and his legs to just bust his way through. You have to get him on the ground, cemented on the ground before you move on to the next play.
Brandon Trisani's extra point is up and good. With 5:43 remaining, Knoch leads Indiana 14-6 on a 26-yard rushing touchdown by Keegan Frazier.
Adam, I'm not sure how many times you've heard this, but any team you talk to their coach, when they have to face a triple option or a team that runs the ball all the time, they say, well, it's a hard offense to simulate in practice. But what about when two of those teams face off against each other? That's why I keep mentioning the defenses here. As the defense can just go against the offense, and that's why Knoch has a few more things up their sleeve, as they can switch their quarterbacks at free will between Kasecki and Frazier.
Wilson and Grotius back to receive the kick for Indiana at their own 9-yard line. If Frazier bounced back at quarterback, as he started at quarterback in the loss against Armstrong last week and threw an interception on the first drive, and Kasecki was the quarterback for the rest of the game. But here's the kick. It is a high one is taken at the goal line, but you can't advance that as Gross has tried to advance, but as a touchback. Indiana take over at their own 20-yard line. Devin Flint leading the Indiana offense back out. He has a rushing touchdown in this game from 6 yards on Indiana's third drive. The other touchdown from Knoch came from a Gavin McGowan fumble recovery. Gavin McGowan has 2 fumble recoveries for Knoch in this game. Flint now gives it to Harrington. He's able to break 1 tackle, but he's not able to get much further than that, as he'll be brought down by multiple Knights defenders at the 21-yard line. Bring up a 2nd down and 9. .5:15 remaining here in the second quarter. Knoch extending its lead moments ago to Keegan Frazier, 26-yard rushing touchdown. 14-6 night lead. 12-game losing streak in conference coming into tonight, looking to end that. Flint now fakes it to McFarland. Now he rolls out. He throws it. Has complete Harrington on the play, up past the 35-yard line, up at the 36. That'll be a 1st down for Indiana. Great play design there by the little Indians.
Yes, another thing is getting out of bounds and stopping that clock for a few seconds, something we haven't seen with all the running plays.
Indiana wants to go quick as Flint keeps it himself. He's able to get out of that big pile of bodies and get up past the 40-yard line. We brought down at the 42-yard line. Here made the stop for Knoch. Gain of 6, bring up 2nd and 4.
There are 4 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, 4:18, and once again, fast-moving game as Flint will keep it once again. He's brought down immediately in the backfield by multiple Knoch Knights defenders. Wyatt Foster made the stop for Knoch. Bring up a 3rd down and 2. Ball at the Indiana 43-yard line. Now we have a timeout taken by Brandon Nowry of Knoch, his 2nd of the half. He has 1 more remaining. Indiana has all 3 of its timeouts left with 3:44 remaining in the second quarter. So yeah, Mason, pretty much what we predicted. Both Knoch and Indiana have just loved to keep this football on the ground.
Yeah, there's only been the number I have is 3 attempted passes so far. There might have been a 4th one, a little bit of nothing, but throwing downfield, there's only been 3 actual passes thrown. As we look in there, Coach Maury's huddle on the sidelines.
Yeah, 3 passes, 1 completion, as Flint did complete a pass to Harrington for a 1st down early on in this drive. Once again, Indiana comes into today 1-1 in conference, and Knoch 0-2, and Indiana is in 5th place right now, where if the playoffs season ended today, they would be in the playoffs as the top 5 teams in the Greater Allegheny Conference make the playoffs. As we give us to Harrington up the middle, he's the 1st down and much more up past midfield. He cuts back to the far side. Can he get the angle though? He can. He's brought down by Kosecki, makes the touchdown saving tackle at about the Knoch 15-yard line. But great gain by Zach Harrington for the 1st down for Indiana. It was out of bounds. Look like the clock is still going now. 3:25 remaining. Flint under center. Wilson in motion that gives to Harrington up the gut. He's able to go into the end zone for the Indiana Little Indians touchdown. from 16 yards. Harrington had that big run on third down. He's able to finish off his own work with that 16-yard rushing touchdown. And you'd think with Indiana missing that extra point, they're going to go for 2, and that's exactly what they're going to do to try to tie up this ball game. Flint under center. Wilson now in motion. Now he goes back to where he originally was set. Flint now, he keeps it himself. Waiting for the signal. And he didn't get there. Great stand by the Knoch defense. So with 3:16 remaining here in the second quarter, Knoch leads 14-12. But Harrington is able to close the gap for Indiana with a 16-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, just right there is Indiana will receive the second half kickoff. So Knoch 3:16. You'd like to think that's a lot of time to work with, but think that clock is going to be rolling so much. So they'll have to run the ball out of bounds or use Knoch's one and only timeout. So ideally, not a lot of time to work with for the Knights. And to add to that, it'll be Indiana has a real shot to come back in this third quarter and take the lead.
Real quickly, just want to thank all of our viewers out there tuning into the High Talk Sports Network as we cover Knoch athletics. And if you want your school covered or a business covered, be sure to visit our website or contact us or email us at staff@hightalksportsnetwork.com. But we appreciate all of our viewers for sure. Johnson and Kasecki back deep for Knoch at their own 11-yard line. Miller will do the run-up and the kick for the Lindell Indians. A high kick taken by Mullen at the 30, one of the up man. Gets past the 35.
Mullen receiving the kickoff.
Second receiving the kickoff. As with 3:10 remaining, Knoch will have pretty good field position once again at its own 38-yard line with one timeout remaining. Do they try to air the ball out here, knowing that Indiana gets the second half kickoff?
But you and I were there in person when Keegan Frazier went off as a dual threat quarterback back against Steel Lakes. They have the ability to do so.
Yeah, Frazier in at quarterback once again. Johnson in motion, man. They give us the Johnson on the jet sweep. He's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. We have a flag on the play, as the flag will stop the clock here at 3:02. See what the penalty is here from the official, Andy Rizzardi. Johnson really not much to go on that run. Personal foul against Knoch. Wasn't sure really what happened on that play, but Knoch will be backed up 15 yards. Jacob McCracken made the tackle on Johnson on that play. That'll be 15 yards back on first and 25.
First 21-5 for the Knights.
For Knoch.
It isn't even a longer field now, so now you really question, will Knoch air it out here?
Now, it's after the play, so instead of first down, it'll be second down and 25. Frazier in the gun. McGowan sidecar to his right. And he gives it to McGowan, puts it in his belly, and he gets up past about the 25-yard line, probably 26-yard line, pick up 4 yards. And he had a third down and 21. Indiana. As Indiana calls a timeout, head coach Brandon Overdorf. His first timeout, 2 remaining here in the half. Brandon Overdorf's in his 4th season as the Indiana head coach, has a record of 10-24. Before Indiana, he was head coach at Purchase Line for 5 years, where he went to high school. He also was the assistant at McGuffey High School, where they also like to run the triple option. Get this, Mason. He was a assistant coach at Pinedale High School. You want to guess what state Pinedale is in? I'll give you a hint. It's not close from here.
Well, let's go as far away as we can go. How about Alaska?
No, not that far. Close enough, but Wyoming. Yeah, he's done some head coaching there. He is self-employed as a beef cattle industry. So that's the scoop on Indiana head coach Brandon Overdorf. 3rd and 21 for the Knights after the personal foul penalty. Ball at its own 26-yard line. Indiana stopped the clock with 2:37 remaining, trailing by 2 here in the second quarter. Frazier in by himself. Now just like he throws it deep down the middle towards Murphy. That is caught for the first down. He just pretty much throws a jump ball in the Indiana territory. What a catch by the big tight end, Big Murphy. Does have a receiving touchdown this season from Frazier. Knocking business here at the Indiana 42-yard line as Murphy had 2 defenders climbing on him, but Murphy just used his big frame there to get the first down, his big 6'1" frame.
2 defenders, double coverage, greatly covered too.
Frazier now fakes it to Johnson. He goes up the middle. He breaks the tackle, gets up past the 40. Carries more Indiana defenders with him, and will be brought down at the Indiana 36-yard line.
Clock rolls to under 2 minutes with the 150 mark.
2nd and 4 for Knoch, looking to add to its 2-point lead.
Knoch has a timeout. Indiana has 2. Knoch might want to use it. 1.5 minutes left.
If you're Knoch, you don't want to completely rush yet. McGowan now next to Frazier. Frazier now hands it off to McGowan. He goes off left tackle, gets to the 30-yard line, and won't get enough for the first down. Van Leer made the stop for the Little Indians, but I don't know, I'm mixing up these teams. Knoch moves the chains, 1:20 and 1 remaining here in the second quarter. Frazier on Knoch's last drive had a 26-yard rushing touchdown. Our other touchdown for Knoch was a Gavin McGowan fumble recovery. And now McGowan has a big hole. Gets inside the 10. He's able to fly into the end zone for the 30-yard rushing touchdown. McGowan has a touchdown on defense. Now he adds to his total with the touchdown on offense. Knoch leads 20-12 with 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Tristani for the extra point for the Knights. Jack Seibel on the hold for Knoch. So he bobbled the snap a little bit, but Tristani's able to put it through and bring up the point. So Knoch leads Indiana 21-12 with 55 seconds remaining in the first half. So great job by Knoch to respond to the Indiana touchdown, knowing that Indiana gets the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, so we saw Indiana knocking on the door a little bit, trying to threaten against the Knights. They did score, but then 3 minutes was plenty of time for Coach Mowry and his team's offense to get into the end zone. Even with the clock running as much as it could, Indiana even called a timeout. That even helped him out by stopping the clock once.
Yeah, remember, Knoch had a 3rd and 21, and Frazier was able to make a big completion to Jake Murphy.
A huge completion.
Yeah.
They did double coverage. It looked like those two guys might have been bigger than Murphy.
Yeah, and that got the ball down to the Indiana 42, and McGowan's able to finish off the drive for the Knights. Ball taken by Wilson. He drops it. He's able to pick it up. Or actually, that's Flint back there. He's brought down at about the 20-yard line.
Almost disaster there. As the nearest Knoch Knight was less than 10 yards away from that ball when it was touched.
So Indiana with 2 timeouts left, they have to go 81 yards for a touchdown, and they have 12 points because Brock Miller, missed an extra point, and then they couldn't get a 2-point conversion on a Flint run, as there's a run right there as Flint leads it. Gets out 2 yards on the play. Carney makes the tackle for Knoch. 2nd and 8 for the Little Indians of Indiana. Now 24 seconds left. Flint will keep the ball once again. Tackled by Goodwin.
13 seconds, that might be the half.
Hurt was also in on the stop for Indiana, as looks like the Little Indians will let this clock wind. As we have reached halftime here at Knoch Knights Athletic Stadium, as Knoch leads Indiana 21-12. Stay tuned for the homecoming festivities, along with both the Indiana and the Knoch High School Marching Band, as you're listening to you're not listening, you're watching WPIAL football on the High Top Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
So we got first to be the Indiana Area High School Marching Band.
Under the direction of Jason O'Leary.
Get to listen to them.
Archer, Scott Kimmerer, Ty Matos, and the support of the Indiana Area Band Boosters. We proudly present the Indiana Area Marching Band.
Good evening and welcome to Knoch High School's homecoming celebration. We're proud to present our 21-22 homecoming court. The 9th grade representative to the court is Natalia Cafaso, escorted by her father, Aaron Cafaso. Grade representative to the court, Cece Casecki, escorted by her father, John Casecki. 11th grade representative to the court, Emma Broman, escorted by her father, Bill Broman. Please welcome the senior court members in alphabetical order. Renee Coe, escorted by her father, Gary Coe. Dave George, escorted by his mother, Stacy George. Nicole Critchlow, escorted by her father, Mike Critchlow. Jack Ioli, escorted by her father. Jasmine, escorted by his mother, Maya Jasmine. Brooke Lassiter, escorted by her mother, Darla Williams. escorted by their father, Bob Hernandez. Peyton Tragi, escorted by his mother, Madison Zellhart, escorted by her father, Arthur Zellhart, and her stepfather, Anthony Scott. Jack Walker, escorted by his mother, Jennifer Walker. Let's have a nice round of applause for the members of crowning the King and Queen this evening will be
There's a king and queen of America.
Oh, you saw it.
I said, you two stop. And then I said, you two too.
This year's homecoming king, our homecoming king this year is Nora Jasmine. Congratulations, Nora.
See, they both of you. Now they're going to know. We don't know who it is.
And the 2021-2022 Knoch High School homecoming queen is Ava Fields. Congratulations to Ava and Nora. Just a reminder, the homecoming party at
You probably are Nora.
the primary school tomorrow evening from 7 to 10. It is open at 6:45. We got another round of applause for our homecoming courts. So our homecoming to Nora Jasmine and as a reminder, at the conclusion of the game, the band will be performing their halftime show. We'd love for all of you to remain in attendance and see what great show the band will put on for us. Enjoy the game.
Shop and Save at Franklin Village is a family-owned, community-dedicated supermarket with a wide variety of quality food and friendly personnel to make your shopping experience easy. Stop by their award-winning butcher shop where you'll find the freshest cuts of USDA-inspected beef, pork, and poultry. Head to the bakery for the freshest bread and rolls, and don't forget to stop by the deli for an excellent selection of cold cuts, meats, cheeses, and prepared foods like their fantastic fried chicken. That's Shop and Save at Franklin Village.
We're back here as halftime is just about over here at Knoch High School. Knoch leads Indiana 21-12 as you just saw the homecoming festivities. Homecoming king is Nora Jasmine and homecoming queen is Ava Fields. So congratulations to Nora and Ava for homecoming king and queen. And I forget, with being out of high school for about 5 years now, for homecoming now, the Indiana band is played, as you saw now, the Knoch band will play after the game, so we will have coverage of that. Before we talk about the first half, let's hear from one of our sponsors, Sprinkles. Sprinkles Neighborhood Market, located at 270 West Water Street in Saxonburg, has been making quality meat a family tradition since 1999. Sprinkles takes pride in delivering the best prices around while providing the best overall value for their customers by offering the widest range of items, the highest quality and freshness, the most organized and cleanest shopping environment, and the friendliest associates. Make sure to visit www.sprinkleSoktoberfest.com for tickets to the festival. And remember to always check on Sprinkle's Facebook page to hashtag #SaveOnMeat. So, Knoch leads Indiana by 9. Mason's talk about some of the first half stats.
Yeah, gather up a couple first half stats for you. So Devin Flint, we'll talk about Indiana first. Is 16 attempts, 71 yards. 71 yards. There we go, we got it back. 71 yards on 16 attempts and a 6-yard right. And a 6-yard rushing touchdown. I apologize. The mic is not my friend tonight. I can't really say too much about that. 1 for 2 passing, a 13-yard pass was his only completion to Zach Harrington, who has 72 yards on 9 attempts and a 16-yard rushing touchdown. We'll flip over, look at some stats for the Knoch Knights. And Keegan Frazier came into the quarterback after Kasecki started it. 8 attempts, 64 yards, a 26-yard touchdown run, 1 for 2 with a big 32-yard pass to Jake Murphy for that third and a mile conversion. Gavin McGowan, 42 yards on 4 attempts and a 30-yard touchdown run. So there we go, just a few stats for you from the first half. We'll show those numbers are up to a lot more after the second.
Thank you, Mason. Good stuff. And the touchdowns in that first half start off by a Gavin McGowan 22-yard fumble recovery in the end zone, get put up Knoch 7-0. Indiana would respond, however, with a Devin Flint 6-yard rushing touchdown. Extra point will be no good, make it 7-6. Keegan Frazier would catapult Knoch's lead even further with a 26-yard rushing touchdown from the Wildcat. And then Indiana was able to cut the deficit to 2 with the Zach Harrington 16-yard rushing touchdown. The 2-point conversion was no good to make it 14-12. And right before the half, Gavin McGowan with his second touchdown of the game, a 30-yard rushing touchdown. And that's where we are. Knoch leads 21-12. Indiana will receive the second half kickoff. Jasani will kick it off.
Super fast-paced football game. First half.
Here's the kick. It's a long kick taken at about the 10-yard line. Up past the 30. We brought down at the 32-yard line. That's Roches on the carry for Indiana. Kasecki made the stop for Knoch. And Indiana will take over for its first possession of the second half from its own 32-yard line, looking to cut into the Knoch 9-point lead. Flint in at quarterback once again has a 6-yard rushing touchdown on the game.
71 yards total running.
Give is to Harrington, right up the gut, gets up past the 35-yard line. He brought down at the 38-yard line. Gain of 6 yards on the play, makes it a second and 4. Goodland made the stop for the Knoch Knights. Once again, Knoch has a 12-game conference losing streak. They're less than halfway from breaking it. The score stands. Now Harrington goes up the middle once again. He bulldozes over multiple Knoch defenders for the first down. Gets towards midfield. Gets brought down at the 49-yard line. So got 11 yards on the play, make it 1st and 10.
Harrington only listed at he's only listed at 5'9", but a big 195-pound rusher. So he's got the big frame, a big physical frame to play through this defensive line.
Give us to Harrington once again, and he uses that speed to get past the Knoch defense, and he's pushed out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Frazier made that touchdown-saving tackle to set up a 1st and goal for Indiana at the 3-yard line.
Over there, we're talking about Harrington, the guy so far. He leads Indiana rushing. And now on this opening possession, he's got a chance to really set the tone for Indiana.
10:43 clock stops with the runner going out of bounds here in the 3rd quarter. Harrington behind Flint. The give is to Harrington. He's eaten up immediately in the backfield. Carney with the great read on that triple option. Looked like he picked up 1 yard, or no gain on the play, bring up 2nd and goal from the Knoch 3-yard line.
Just 10 and change to play here in the 3rd. The clock running is super fast. It's almost like a basketball game.
Flint now calls his own number, and he's able to barrel his way into the end zone for the Indiana touchdown. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. Now his 11th rushing touchdown on the season. Indiana now is able to pull closer as they trail Knoch 21-18 with 10:10 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
We're going for 2 here.
Yeah, Miller missed an extra point and hit off the upright. Last time they went for 2, it was no good off a Flint rushing touchdown. Flint now under center. Wilson, the motion man. Flint will keep it himself. Second effort. Did he make the end zone? No, he did not. Another goal line stand on a 2-point conversion by Knoch. Keegan Frazier is in at the bottom of the pile to greet Flint. Once again, 10:10 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Indiana trails Knoch 21-18. Very quickly, let's hear from one of our sponsors here from the High Top Sports Network. With over 40 years of experience, Steffi's Country Catering provides scrumptious home-cooked foods served by friendly professional staff to make your next event worry-free. Ask about their grazing tables and 3-tier cheese ball cakes. Be sure to order some homemade cheese balls and try their extra fresh meat and cheese or pickle and olive plates. Sugar Rush cupcakes by Tara are available by order, and be sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly Sunday takeout specials. Whether it's for a Friday night football tailgate, a family event, or just a fantastic meal, Steffi's Country Catering has food for the whole family will enjoy. Mention High Top Sports Network to receive a special 10% discount when you book your next event. Kasecki and Johnson back deep to receive for Knoch. Miller really hasn't kicked the ball deep, as last 2 times Cody Mullen has received it at his own 30-yard line. That's where Mullen stands for Knoch. Here's the kick from Miller. It's a deeper kick. It's high. It'll be taken on the play by one of the Knoch up men. Gets up past the 30-yard line. That's Frazier. That returns the ball. He'll return to about the 34-yard line. That's where Knoch will take over with 10:03 remaining in the third quarter.
Probably the longest kick of the night out of Indiana. And the last one we saw back in the second quarter, there might have been some contact on it. The punt only went, or the kick only went about 30, 40 yards.
Knoch's last drive resulted in the McGowan 30-yard rushing touchdown. Kaseki back in at quarterback. Johnson, the motion man, fakes it to Johnson, gives it up to Frazier. He's tripped up at the 35-yard line. Pick up 2 yards on the play. Make it second down and 8. Clifford made the stop for Indiana, the 6'3 senior. Make it second down and 8. Kaseki started at quarterback for Knoch on his first 2 drives. They didn't get a first down. Frazier was quarterback for the remainder of the second half, but Knoch, Coach Brandon Mallory changed things up once again with Kaseki back in at the helm. Low snap, but Kaseki's able to corral and give it off to Frazier. He's a first down and much more. Breaks multiple tackles. He gets into Indiana territory. Physical running there by Keegan Frazier. Inside the 45-yard line at the 44-yard line of Indiana. 22-yard gain for Frazier.
And that clock's still rolling. We're down to 9 minutes left in the third. And time is of essence in these games where 2 triple option offenses meet up against each other.
Kaseki now in the backfield by himself. Johnson, the motion man, to give this to Johnson, the jet sweep. But nothing doing there as he's able to break out of the tackle, try to reverse field, try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he will lose a couple of yards on the play. So good job by Johnson to make looked like a disastrous play. Only would have been a loss of around 10, only a loss of a couple. Liam McFarland forcing out of bounds. 2nd and 3, but once again, that could have been a loss of way more than 3 yards.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody always says trying to make something out of nothing. I think at that time the story was trying to make nothing out of an absolute train wreck.
Yeah, it looked like McFarland was just Harrington was holding his hand, but Johnson was able to break off that tackle. 2nd and 13 at the 46. Kaseki now, he rolls to his left. He throws it, that's complete to Johnson. He's the first down inside the 25-yard line. Pushed out of bounds on the play by Fox Van Leer. The second completion for Knoch. Both of them going for big gains. Ball's now at the Indiana 24-yard line. It's great play action by Kaseki. And Johnson was wide open in the flat. Kaseki's first completion of the night.
Great play call by Coach Mallory there. A lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Kaseki now will take the snap and keep it himself, go up the middle.
There's a flag.
Brought down right back at the 20. There will be a flag, though, in the Knoch backfield. There will be a holding. Now back up the Knights 10 yards.
That's a tough call there, a tough penalty to take, though. The Knights just getting things going and getting a nice roll to their first look in the third quarter in the second half. And now you're going to face a long 1st and 20. They say 1st and 19, but if you don't get a good chunk of yards off here in this first play, then that can really seem like a mile.
Ball at the Indiana 33-yard line. 7:40 remaining here in the third quarter. Knoch leads by 3. This great Allegheny Conference matchup. Kaseki keeps it himself, has a little bit of a crease. Good run there by him on first down. Gets past the original line of scrimmage, is brought down at the 21-yard line of Indiana. or 20-yard line
Second and
rather.
7 for the Knights.
It'll be 2nd and 7, gain of 12.
12 yards on the carry.
So there, that 1st and 9. Getting 13 yards back on that. Instead of facing 2nd or 3rd and a mile, it's now very manageable.
Kaseki now low snap. He's able to give it to Frazier, but he has nothing. He's greeted really immediately in the backfield by Isaac Nygren. He lost 1 yard on the play. Jacob McCracken was also in on the stop for Indiana. It will be 3rd down and 8 for Knoch. 6:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Indiana did score on its first drive of the half for a Devin Flint rushing touchdown from 3 yards. Kaseki now, he rolls out to his left. He'll keep it, he'll run and makes a juke move at about the 15-yard line, but looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
Well, that makes it a 3rd and very manageable conversion. Not constantly rolling, time is of the essence. So maybe you want to hold on to 4th and 1. My apologies. So now that makes it even more important. You want to convert here and maybe eat another 3 or 4 minutes off the clock.
4th down for Knoch, their first time going for on 4th down this evening. This time they have Frazier in quarterback position, McGowan to his right. Frazier now with the snap. He goes up the middle and plows forward, and yes, he does have enough for that Knoch Knights first down. Making the stop was Alec Clark, the 6'1 junior for Indiana, but not before a crucial first down for Knoch with 5:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Knoch clinging on to a 3-point lead.
Yeah, I think as of right now, it would be, the main focus would be making this a 2-point game. You're in 4-down territory, so go ahead and go for it no matter what.
Kaseki back in at quarterback after Frazier took that 4th down direct snap. Fakes it to Johnson, keeps it himself, but Indiana defense with a good read on that. Isaac Nygren, we quote his name a lot, made the stop. 6'1 sophomore. Loss of 1 yard on the play. 2nd down and 11.
Down to 4.5 minutes left in the 3rd. The clock is rolling like a machine here. No stopping at all. Both teams still have their 3 timeouts.
Ball at the Indiana 13-yard line, so Knoch can get a first down without a touchdown. Frazier just picked up a big 4th down conversion, keep this drive alive. Kaseki hands it off to Frazier. He has a hole. He takes the defender with him into the end zone for a 13-yard rushing touchdown. Keegan Frazier, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, gives Knoch a 27-18 lead.
Yeah, what a runner Frazier is for this Knoch team. I mean, he's just a force to be reckoned with out there. He's 6'1", 155 pounds, not the big frame, but still maybe not the biggest runner ever, but still a huge guy.
Triciani's extra point is up, and it is no good. But still, with 4:07 remaining, Knoch does have a 2-possession lead, 27-18. So both Knoch and Indiana have 1 possession here in the 2nd half. Both of them have 2nd half touchdowns. We'll get some other scores around the conference. Armstrong is leading Mars 15-0. Armstrong 1-1 so far in conference play. Mars 0-2. Hampton, first place in the conference, is 2-0. Leads Greensburg-Salem 24-0. And Plum 1-1 in conference play leads Highlands, who's also 1-1 in conference play, 14-13. Other notes: North Hills leads Kiski, another game we're covering here on High Talk, 7-0, as Kiski is 5-0 for the first time since 1986.
Wilson back to receive.
Grocius and Wilson back deep for
Setting up the kickoff.
Indiana at inside their 10-yard line. Giussani will kick it deep for the Knights. Here's the run-up and the boot by Trissani, the right-footed kicker. Gets it off to Wilson. He has a hole up the middle. Good field position for Indiana. He'll take over at the 35-yard line.
He'll take some nice fakes out to the upmen there, pretending maybe they had it, or just tying up those. Everybody coming down for a knock, you know, some good blocking. It's a beautiful field position, especially. There's not a lot of time left in this game, no matter what you say.
Bennett Shaw made the stop for the Knights. Flint gives the ball up to Harrington, up the middle, but he's greeted. Forward progress gives him a few yards. Past the line of scrimmage, Cotton made the stop for Knoch. Gain of 2 yards, second down and 8 at the Indiana 37-yard line.
Second down for the Indians.
3:35 remaining here in the third quarter of this Greater Allegheny Conference game. Now Wilson starts his motion, but goes back, and Flint looks over to the sideline for signals. Now McFarland goes in motion. The pitch is to McFarland. Not much going there, as we do have a flag.
McFarland
The play.
tackled by Murphy and company.
Murphy made the stop on defense for Knoch. Flag in the Indiana backfield. The holding on Indiana. We'll back them up even more. Waiting for the official call here. Andy Rosardi, the official tonight. Yep, and that penalty will go against Indiana. It'll be now second down, 22 at the 23-yard line of Indiana instead of second and 8.
Knox defense, I think you want to get it. Don't want to give up more than 4 or 5 yards here. Make him go through third and country mile. We'll get a country mile.
McFarland the motion man. He fakes it to McFarland. Flint now he throws it towards the near sidelines. Incomplete. And yep, there comes the flag as there'll be intentional grounding. No eligible receiver in the area. And Flint was still in the tackle box. And the tackle box meaning from left tackle to right tackle. Now, if you scramble out of that tackle box and you throw it away, that's fine, but there also has to be an eligible receiver in the area, so that makes it a loss of down as well.
Loss of down on the play.
I think that might work for the Indiana defense, the Knox defense there.
Third and long. Third and a country mile for Indiana. Now we have, looks like too many men in the huddle on Indiana. Trying to figure out the yardage to go here. But Indiana not doing themselves many favors. It's third and 39. They need to go all the way to their own 45-yard line for a first down.
I don't know, that might be the longest conversion we'll ever see.
You know, well, that's when I was on back-to-back penalties like that. And now Flint looks to throw. He just chucks it deep down the field. That is intercepted on play at the 40-yard line. Cody Mullen, the freshman, comes up with a big play there. I guess you can look at that as a hand punt for Indiana, but nonetheless, Knoch comes up with its third turnover of the game. Flint's second interception of the season. But I guess when you're in that third 39 situation, you just throw the ball up and hope someone in St. Jersey as you comes up with it.
Yeah,
The term they're out on a hand punt?
Yeah.
Anytime I hear somebody refer to that, it's a funny term. I don't know why I find that funny.
Kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. Nonetheless, Knoch has it at the Indiana 46-yard line, looking to add to its 9-point lead with 2:49 remaining here in the third quarter. Kasecki gives it off to Frazier. He goes off right tackle. He gets a little bit of a
Frazier with the carry in the play.
Gets inside the 45-yard line. Nygren, and once again on the tackle, gains 4, making a 2nd down and 6.
2.5 to play here in the third.
Knoch's last drive ended with a Keegan Frazier rushing touchdown, 13 yards. He has 2 rushing touchdowns on the game. His first one was from 26. Kasecki started the game at quarterback, then Frazier was in at quarterback, and Kasecki was a quarterback the last drive. Now he's back in at quarterback once again. Kasecki now keeps it himself, makes the man miss in the backfield, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he will be able to do that.
Kasecki with the carry, forced out of bounds by Harrington.
Well, that's impressive there. If he got back to the line of scrimmages, he was guarded all over. It was how could you juke any of these Indiana defenders out, because they were all over him.
Got to the 40-yard line of Indiana, making a 3rd down and 4. Harrington forced him out of bounds on the Knoch sideline. Inside 2 minutes now, 1:59 remaining in the third quarter. Kasecki with Frazier to his right. Third short, Johnson the man in motion. Kasecki now, he rolls to his right. He throws, and that's complete for a 1st down to Johnson. He hurdles. Fumble out of bounds.
There's a flag out there somewhere.
I believe that's going to go against Johnson, as you're not allowed to hurdle like that. I believe that's what the penalty is going to be on.
Check out our referee here. We'll see what he says.
Yeah, personal foul, that does go against Johnson, because again, you're not allowed to foul in high school football, so that will negate the 1st down. And I learned that when I was covering high school football a few years ago, where I saw a great run by West Green running back Ben Jackson, who was very good, one of the leading rushers in WPIAL that year. He hurdled a man for a touchdown, but he called it back. And that will bring the ball back to the 43-yard line. So it's from the spot of the foul. So only lose 3 yards on the play. It'll make it a 3rd down and 7. But yeah, sometimes when you just have an instinct and you're out in open field, you sometimes think, I'm going to try to hurdle this guy. But in high school football, it's just one of those rules where you're not allowed to. Big 3rd down for this Indiana defense, down by 9 with 1:34 remaining in the third quarter. Kasecki in the gun, Johnson the motion man. Kasecki now fakes it. He will run with it. Makes the man miss. Flag down on the play. He's going to be flag on the play on a half-yard short of the 1st down. Harrington made the tackle for Indiana. Holding against Knoch, as we will do 3rd down over once again.
This time, way long.
Let's see where they mark the ball. This time will be 3rd and 19. A lot of penalties in this game, that's for sure. The ball's now marked at the Indiana 45-yard line. Looked like promising for Knoch to add on to its 2-possession lead on that 1st down reception from Johnson to Johnson from Kasecki, but he hurdled, and once again, you can't hurdle in high school football, and now that holding penalty on Kasecki when he was half-yard short of that 1st down, and that's where Knoch has it at the 45-yard line of Indiana, up by 9.
Yeah, penalties have been the kryptonite to Knoch on this drive so far. It could have been a 2-score game again, but instead looking at.
And after the holding call, it's now 3rd and 19 for the Knights.
Yeah, now it's actually at the Knoch 45-yard line. So Knoch, they started Cody Mullen interception at the Indiana 46-yard line, but with all the penalties, has backed him up in its own territory with 1:14 and winding here in the third quarter. Kasecki in the gun with Frazier to his left. Johnson the motion man. Give is to Frazier. Goes up towards the far sideline. Makes the man miss. That's McFarland, but there's multiple Little Indians defenders to greet him, and he's going to be way short of the first down. Be a 4-yard gain. But Indiana comes up with the stop on defense, exactly what they needed with 44 seconds left in the third quarter.
About to see the first punt that we've seen in a good while.
Yeah, these teams have really been going back and forth, and Wilson back at his own 25-yard line to receive for the Little Indians. Trisani now with the punt. A line drive right at Wilson. He steps up and he makes a catch. He gets up past the 40. And he will be brought down at about the 40-yard line. Goodling and Murphy were in on the stop for Knoch. But Indiana down by 9 points with 17 seconds left here, takes over in the third quarter. Once again, last time Indiana was out, Flint third interception to Cody Mullen on a 3rd and 39. Once again, you like the term, Mason, it was just a hand punt, I thought. As you
I'm going to have to steal that term there.
You're listening to WPIAL Football on the High Top Sports Network. Adam Morganti, Mason Flanagan with you. Flint now under center, goes to the sideline for instructions. Play clock now down to 7. He gets set once again, and Flint gives it off to Harrington right up the middle. Gets a couple on first down. Murphy, Peart, and Cotton on the stop. And if you were in on our halftime coverage, Peart wasn't in the homecoming corps. Unfortunately, he didn't win for him. Well, this end of the third quarter with Knoch leading Indiana 27-18, as we will take a quick break here as you're listening to WPIAL Football on the High Top Sports Network. We're back here at Knoch Knights Athletic Stadium. Knoch leads Indiana 27-18 here as we're about to start the fourth quarter of play. Knoch with a 12-game losing streak in conference play. If they hold on here, they will put that to an end. 2nd and 8 for Indiana. Flint keeps it on the run. He chucks him in and gets a first down and much more. Will Knoch be able to catch up to him? No. Touchdown. Devin Flint. What a run by him to make it a one-possession game as he goes 58 yards for Indiana, his 3rd rushing touchdown. He just trucked a Knoch defender over to make it 27-24. So Indiana starts out with a bang here in the fourth quarter. And they're going to go for 2 once again, as they have all game long after Miller missed an extra point. They are 0 for 2 here on 2-point conversions. Flint goes under center, Harrington behind him. McFarland the motion man. He gives it off to Harrington. He's able to muscle his way into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. We got a ball game, folks, with 11:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Knoch leads Indiana 27-26. That's Flint's third rushing touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the year.
Flint just an explosive runner all around. You'd never know what to expect from him. He's so
Yeah, and it looked like he was only about to get a few yards on play before the first down, but I wasn't able to see what Knoch defender that was, but he trucked that Knoch defender over, kind of, if any Madden players out there listening, kind of flicked the stick up for the truck, and that's really what catapulted him to the end zone. Murphy was in pursuit for Knoch, but he was not quick enough to catch up to Devin Flint. Now, once again, Indiana did get a stop after Knoch had great field position on the Mullen interception at the Indiana 46-yard line, but Knoch kind of didn't help themselves out with penalties. Miller will kick for Indiana. Johnson, Kasecki back deep for the Knights. Not many deep kicks by Miller tonight. Here's the boot. Deep kick will be taken by Johnson at the 15-yard line. He bobbles it, he picks it up at the 20-yard line, and he's not able to get much after that. But again, he did the most important thing and recovered his own muff and returned it to the Knoch 29-yard line.
Might have the mic working again. There we go. Back.
Maybe as it cuts out, I'm not sure what problem we're having there with the mic. Frazier now in at quarterback as Brandon Mallory changing things up again. Johnson goes in motion, fakes the Johnson. Frazier keeps it himself. Able to go through the small hole he had. Looked like he was going to get tackled in the backfield. Harrington and McFarland made the tackle for Indiana for a 5-yard gain. Second down and 5 for Knoch.
This runs right up the middle. It seems like those don't really work, but that gives you a good, manageable second and third down.
Frazier in the gun. McGowan to his right. Gives it to McGowan, who has 2 touchdowns on the day. He's able to get close to that first down. We'll be down at about the 38-yard line for a 3-yard gain. Be 3rd down and 2. Again, all these third downs are going to be crucial for the Indiana defense as they want to get a stop here to try to take the lead in this game, in this Greater Allegheny Conference matchup. Knoch comes in.
You see on the scoreboard, it's really 10.5 minutes. Clock running all the time.
3rd and 2. Frazier calls his own number, and doesn't look like he's going to have enough for the first down.
Frazier with the carry.
We'll see. It depends on where.
Oh, check 1, 2. I think I'm back.
They bring out the lead sticks. Ball right now looks like at the 39-yard line. It was 3rd and 1. Niger made the stop on the play. Big spot coming up here early in this fourth quarter with 10:14 remaining. And that is plenty of room for the first down. Big first down, 3rd down run by Frazier.
Very close.
It looked like from up here that he was short, but
maybe generous spot. I don't know, but nonetheless, the Knoch offense stays on the field.
Yeah, just looking at that camera.
Frazier now in the gun. McGowan to his left. Clock winding now. 10:07. Johnson goes in motion. And looks like offsides against Indiana. And I'll make it a 1st down and 5. Excuse me, jump off sides a few times in this game. Make it 1st down and 5. We're now less than 10 minutes left, 9:58 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's super tight. You want to try to make sure you get as much clock as you can and get a score on the board.
Frazier in the gun. McGowan to his left. Frazier now calls his own number on the QB design. Clifford in on this tackle for Indiana. Will be 2nd down and 3 for Knoch. 2-yard gain at the Knoch 46-yard line. Knoch leads by 1. The difference in this game so far is Indiana has missed 1 extra point, and they're only 1 for 3 on 2-point conversions. So that's why Knoch is clinging on to a 1-point lead in this game. Knoch will pick up its first conference win in over 12 tries, and Frazier is hit, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield on the play. He's trying to throw Jacob McCracken, the 6'3 senior, in on the sack of Frazier. Loss of 4, bring up a 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 for the Knights.
3rd down and 7. Big 3rd down coming up for Indiana. Knoch has already converted on 1 3rd down on this drive. 8:26 remaining in the 4th quarter. Both Knoch and Indiana do have all 3 of its timeouts at their disposal. Frazier now gives it to McGowan. He's going to be taken down at the 40-yard line. McCracken in on the tackle again for Indiana. He had that sack of Frazier.
And McCracken's been a big name here in this 4th quarter for the Indiana defense, stopping just about everything.
That'll be a loss of 2, making a 4th down and 9. Trisani back to punt at his own 26-yard line. Wilson for Indiana back deep at his own 29. Here's the kick. It's high line drive, and they'll hook out of bounds. Let's see where the official spot it. He'll spot it at the Indiana 41-yard line. So not a long punt there by Trisani, and Indiana has good field position here to try to take the lead, as Devin Flint had a 58-yard rushing touchdown on Indiana's last drive, as Indiana's 2 for 2 on scoring drives here in the 2nd half. Flint also scored a 3-yard rushing touchdown in this half, so Flint has 3 rushing touchdowns on the evening.
Never know what you're going to get from Flint.
Flint now, he keeps it up the middle, gets about 4 yards on plays. He's tackled at his own 45-yard line. Murphy in on the tackle for the Knoch Knights. 2nd and 6, 7:10 remaining for Indiana. Flint now looks over to the sideline, the coach Brandon Overdorf. Flint under center as whistles. It looked like someone flinched and started too early. It'll be a false start.
False start on the Indians.
On Indiana, it'll be 2nd down and 11. I guess good news though for Indiana, it does stop the clock at 6:51
And it's second and 11 for the Indians.
Time management a big thing for both teams right now.
And it'll be interesting decision to see if they get down in the round field goal range, depending on if it's a fourth down, if they will try to go for the field goal, but they have to get down there first. But looks like another false start on the play. They get a 2nd and 6 for Indiana. Ball at its own 45-yard line. 6:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. Knoch leads by 1. Flynn under center. Harrington behind him. Wilson the motion man. Harrington is hit immediately behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a few yards on the play. Nevin Peart made the tackle for Knoch. Lost 1 yard on the play. Bring down 3rd down and 7 at the Little Indians 44-yard line.
Huge 3rd down here for the Knoch defense. Absolutely huge.
And you would think, is this 4-down territory with 5:44 remaining? For Indiana. Flint under center. McFarland the motion man. Flint now. He'll keep it himself. He's going to be met by a stone wall of Knoch defenders. He'll be way short of the 1st down. Looked like Cody Mullen made a tackle along with Murphy. Mullen with an interception for this Knoch defense here in the second half. Only a 3-yard gain to make it a 4th down and 4. At the 47-yard line of Indiana, as Flint will stay out there with the Little Indians offense with 5:06 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Got to convert here. You have to convert here or this thing might as well call it over.
Play clock down to 6. 5 now. Indiana has to get the play off. Now Flint, he will keep it himself. We'll go to the near sideline. 1st down and much more into Knoch territory inside the 35-yard line, but hold the phone. We have a flag on the play back on the Indiana side of the field at the 47-yard line. This play is coming back. It'll be holding against Indiana. Crucial penalty there as Flint picked up a big 4th and 4 conversion. So you would think now Indiana would have to punt it now.
I don't know if you punt it. I'm not sure if you punt it now. If you punt it now, then maybe you don't have that opportunity to
4th down for the
ball back.
Well, make it a 4th down in 13 at the 37-yard line. As Flint will stay out there on offense. It's again Knoch clinging on to a 1-point lead. 4:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Flint now. He fakes it. He's going to look to throw. He throws it towards the middle of the field. It's complete to McFarland. Does he have enough for the 1st down? Once again, a flag again in the backfield. Looked like he was about a yard short of the 1st down.
Appears to be on.
So wait, see if we what it's all about.
We have about the 2 penalties, holding against Knoch and eligible man downfield. The penalties were offset, so that means we will replay 4th down, and looked like it was a lineman that was ineligible downfield on a passing play. An offensive lineman can only be 1 yard
down the field. If he goes past that 1 yard barrier, he's deemed an ineligible receiver. Still 4th down and 13. And now head coach for Knoch, Brandon Mallory, calls a timeout, his first timeout of the half. And he has 2 more remaining in this game. Knoch leads 27-26 with 4:13 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
The big 4th down here, they converted it once, but can they convert it twice is the question.
Yeah, and it looked like on that holding call, McFarland was about a yard short of the 1st down. So you would think, so if there was only one penalty, Knoch probably would have declined it. Now, Greater Allegheny Conference action, end of the 3rd quarter, Highlands leads Plum 21-20. Both teams come into this game 1-1 between Highlands and Plum. Greensburg-Salem beat Plum earlier on this season. Knoch still hasn't played either Plum or Highlands, as now 4th and 13. Knoch defense here on the field. Here comes the Indiana offense. They've had 2 4th downs. Flint had a 4th down run that was called back on holding. They're actually now punting unit. Miller, as no one is back deep for Knoch. Maybe he's expecting a fake. Low snap to Miller. He's able to get off the punt. Mullen was the deepest guy back there for Knoch. He just watches it roll inside the 20-yard line for Indiana.
And Indiana's punt rolls
And it will be down to the 17-yard line for Knoch. Owen Clifford made down the punt for Indiana. 4:07 remaining in the 4th quarter.
First down here, Knoch can wrap it up their first conference win in a while.
Yeah, 12. Knoch has lost 12 consecutive conference games. They can close the game out here with a couple first downs. Kaseki back in at quarterback. Frazier to his left. The give is to Frazier. He sheds on a few tackles. Stiff arm goes out of bounds though on the play. McFarland forces him out of bounds at looks like the 23, we'll call it 24-yard line. So gain of 7.
2nd and 3 for the Knights.
Make it a 2nd down and 3 for Knoch. As that helps Indiana, as with Frazier out of bounds, it stops him. It stops the clock for Indiana with 2 timeouts, or with 3 timeouts remaining. Now Frazier, he gets a hole in 1st down and much more, up past the 30-yard line. Crucial 1st down for Knoch. 1st and 10. The clock will keep winding though. Indiana has all 3 of its timeouts, but they're going to let the clock roll. 3:46 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Just 1, 2, 3, 4, still nothing.
As Knoch, the clock is their friend. They will take their sweet old time. Kaseki in at quarterback. Takes a direct snap. He bounces off a tackle or 2, but he gets maybe a yard if he's lucky to the 33-yard line of Knoch. Make it a 2nd down and 9. And Coach Brandon Overdorf is holding on to his timeouts for now with 2:56 remaining. Knoch leads 27-26. Knoch looking to improve to 2-4 and 1-2 on the season.
Kosecki in the gun. Johnson in motion, fakes it to Johnson, gives it to Frazier up the middle. He breaks a couple tackles, gets up past the 35-yard line and gets to the Knoch 37-yard line. Picks up 4. Will bring up a 3rd down and 5, and the Little Indians take their first timeout of the second half. 2:28 here remaining in the fourth quarter. Ball at the, they'll call it the 36-yard line, but 2:28. You think 2 first downs, you would think, for Knoch will seal it here, as now after Indiana called their timeout, they now have 2 timeouts remaining. As it's really been the Keegan Frazier show for Knoch. He has 2 rushing touchdowns of 13 and 26. Gavin McGowan has a 30-yard rushing touchdown, along with a 22-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. And once again, after the game, stay tuned, as we will have coverage of the Knoch marching band, as with homecoming festivities. The Indiana band played, but not the Knoch band. But Knoch band will play directly after the game. 3rd down and 5 for Knoch. Kosecki, the quarterback, gives it to Frazier. Sidesteps the man, but he is greeted by multiple Indiana Little Indians defenders in the backfield. So the Indiana defense does its job getting that big stop. Owen Clifford in on the tackle for Indiana, along with Blake Hodak.
4th down for the Knights.
4th down and 11 from the 36-yard line, as Coach Overdorf did call his second timeout. So Indiana has 1 timeout left. Knoch has 2 timeouts left. 2:19 remaining.
Would they go for this here? 4th and 11? I'm not really sure if you would.
You'd be crazy if you're Knoch if you went for it, because if you don't get it, you'd think put him on the edge of a field goal range. But yeah, Trisani is on the punt for Knoch. Wilson back deep for the Little Indians inside his 40 at his own 39-yard line. Trisani inside his 20 at about the 17-yard line. Here's he wasn't even calling a snap. Trisani is able to get the first down and much more into Indiana territory. A botched play as Trisani took a little bit from the corral to snap, but he had a lot of green grass in front of him. I see no flags on the field. Trisani's able to run for that first down. Wow, what a play. As Trisani able to show his quickness, avoids disaster, and that will move the chains for a Knoch first down. Wow, what a play. It's not over yet, but you would think that might have sealed the game right there. 2:09 left in the 4th. Indiana with 1 timeout in this game, as Indiana came off with a big stop here on 3rd down. If Trisani gets that snap cleanly, he doesn't take off and run like that. Kosecki back in at quarterback. Frazier, the sidecar, to his left. Frazier now will keep it himself, and he's brought down back on his own side of the field for a loss of a couple yards by Blake Hodak. He made a 3rd down stop for Indiana, and Indiana will call its final timeout with 1:40 left here on the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, it will be 2nd down at the Knoch 49-yard line. Loss of 5 yards on the play, make it 2nd and 15.
Big play here. big opportunity here. If you're Indiana, you gotta make a stop here. Hopefully, push somebody out of bounds.
And on the contrary, if you're Knoch, you want to just keep all your runs to the middle, and if you're towards the sideline, you don't want to play hero ball here and try to get extra yards. The most important thing for if you're Knoch, keep the ball in bounds and hold on to that football, because if you go out of bounds, that is only helping Indiana with 1:47 left here in the fourth quarter. It's saying on the board that Indiana has one timeout left, but I believe they just used their final timeouts. Kasecki now gives it to Frazier. He's hit right at midfield by multiple Little Indians defenders. Will be no gain.
Gotta get 15 yards on this play then.
They get third down and 15. 1:25 left as Indiana can't stop the clock.
Hey guys, I'm back. The mic issues finally was over here. Gonna get 14 yards on this play. It's gonna be the biggest play. You're gonna get 14 yards with 1 minute left.
Yep, Knoch in no hurry as play clock will go down to 4. And looks like they're just going to call a timeout on the play. Head coach Brandon Mowry he has one timeout remaining with 58 seconds left. And the last time the Indiana defense was in this position, they were able to stop Knoch. However, punting unit Brennan Tristani was on to punt for Knoch, and it was a good snap, but he wasn't able to catch the punt cleanly.
You see, Adam, I think that if he kicks that, no matter what, it's blocked. There was a defender right on top of him, so he had to stop and think, do I try to kick this or do I juke him out? And then, well, geez, he'll take 18, 19, 20 yards,
Yeah.
There was nobody there to stop him if it was a fake.
Yeah, exactly. For Tristani, he just had no one in front of him to stop him. It looked like Indiana was going for the fake, as you mentioned. If he would have tried to get that off, that probably would have been blocked, sending up Indiana in great field position. But back from the timeout, 3rd and 14 for Knoch. Ball at midfield, 58 seconds left. Kasecki by himself in the backfield. Johnson, the motion man. The give is to Johnson. He cuts it up the middle, and he'll be way short of the first down. Gets about the original line of scrimmage and call for 4 yards.
That's going to be 4th down for the Knights.
It'll be 4th and 10 for Knoch. Clock winding there to 39 seconds. Play clock at 22 seconds.
I think it probably wouldn't be too hard to say that Tristani fake punt would be the play of the game if Knoch can hold out and win this.
Yeah, and more importantly, it killed more time on the clock.
So right here, assuming Coach Mowry takes the last time out, if they punt, it'll be 15 seconds exactly. So they stop him on the kickoff, and it got one play at most.
Yeah, and once again, Knoch and Indiana in this greater Allegheny Conference matchup. Knoch coming into today 1-4 overall, 0-2 in conference play. Indiana 3-2 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Knoch on a 12-game conference losing streak. They are 15 seconds away from ending that losing streak.
And all the credit in the world to this Knoch defense. I mean, they've been suffocating for most of the game. You got to remember, 7 of these 27 points for Knoch came off of they came from Knoch's defense, a fumble recovery, running into the end zone. That's 7 or 27 right there. The defense only given up 20 points today. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gavin McGowan had a fumble recovery. He also had a rushing touchdown. And also, the first touchdown Indiana scored, Miller missed the extra point, and they've had 2 failed 2-point conversions. That's why Indiana is down by 1. Trisani is on to punt. Wilson back at his own 16-yard line for Indiana. Here's punt by Trisani. It's right at Wilson as he drops the punt. He picks it up inside his 10, and he's going to be tackled inside the 5-yard line. Alex Cotton made the tackle as Wilson kind of thought ahead to it. He looked ahead right before he caught it. Now, let's see where they mark the ball.
It almost looked like it could have been close to a safety there. It looks like the 3, maybe the 2. How about the 4?
Yeah, so Indiana has to go 96 yards to win the game in 4 seconds. So we'll see probably a lot of laterals. 4 seconds left.
Going to see the best play of the playbook. The best play in the playbook right here for Indiana. We'll see what they got cooked up.
And Flint looks like he does all game. That will go under center. It's not crowd making a lot of noise getting into it. Flint now back in his own end zone, the pass. He goes deep, and that is incomplete. That'll end the game, and Knoch ends their 12-game conference losing streak, defeating Indiana 27-26. Knoch now 1-2-4 on the year, 1-2 in conference play. Indiana's 3-3, 1-2. Big win by Knoch here in conference play, as once again the teams fighting for position for playoff spots as 5 teams make the playoffs in the greater Allegheny Conference. So what a game. These 2 good rushing attacks. Knoch was able to come out on top. But stay tuned as we will have the Knoch Knights band. But until that, we'll take a quick commercial break as Knoch defeats Indiana 27-26.
Douglas Insurance Services, located in Sarver next to Freeport High School, is an independent insurance agency, which means they've made available some of their best companies for your online quick quotes. Douglas Insurance Services offers personal insurance coverages to their clients in Pennsylvania, including individual annuities, boat and watercraft, auto, condo, and flood insurance. Call them today at 1-800-722-9990. Douglas Insurance Services, a proud sponsor of Freeport Athletics.
Gross Embroidery and Sign Shop is the official clother of High Top Sports Network and is a family-owned company that can handle all your custom embroidery, custom sign, and laser engraving needs. Located at 409 4th Street in downtown Fort City, Gross Embroidery and Sign Shop can create sports and career apparel to the exact specifications of your organization. Their laser engraving department can put your logo or design on glasses, tumblers, insulated cups, signs, coffee cups, and more. Call Gross Embroidery and Sign Shop at 724-763-2461 today.
Back at Knoch Knights Athletic Stadium as Knoch defeats Indiana 27-26 to end their 12-game conference losing streak. I'm Adam Morganti. Joining me is Mason Flanagan as you're listening to WPIAL football here on the High Top Sports Network. Stay tuned as we will have the Knoch, you can't really call it halftime show, I guess after game shows, homecoming festivities, didn't have enough time for the Knoch band to play, but we will bring that coverage to you after this game. But how about, Mason, if your mic's working, we can try to do a little bit of a scoring recap in this game.
Oh yes, it all started out back with the defensive. They forced a fumble. Knoch defense forced a fumble against Indiana, run it into the end zone there. Indiana, fortunately, able to come back on the extra point, missed. As here I can. So we're getting to. I apologize. My mic has been all over the place, on and off, all night long. It's very choppy right now as we try to go through some scoring recaps.
I guess it would make sense probably for me to try. But Gavin McGowan had a 22-yard fumble recovery to open up the scoring in this game, but Indiana was able to answer with a Devin Flint rushing touchdown from 6 yards out. Miller missed the extra point, though, to make it 7-6. Knoch then answered Keegan Frazier with his first rushing touchdown of the game from 13 yards to make it 14-6. Then Zach Harrington with a rushing touchdown of his own from 16 yards, making it 14-12. The two-point conversion was no good. And then Indiana Knoch had another touchdown to end the half. Gavin McGowan with a 30-yard rushing touchdown as Knoch had a 21-12 lead at halftime. And Indiana got 2 touchdowns here in the second half. A Devin Flint 58-yard rushing touchdown and another Flint 3-yard rushing touchdown. But probably the play of the game, Christianity on a botched punt, on a botched play. He bobbled the snap, was able to pick up on a 4th and 11 run for the first down. But no, I will stop talking. Here's the Knoch Knights marching band, so sit back and enjoy.
Major advisor Natalie White. Under the full leadership of drum majors Jack Walker and Andrew Ripper, and band captains Kevin Golden, Jake McCurdy, Braden Sloan, and Justin Walls, along with drumline captains Kevin Golden and Marina Smith. Drum majors, is the band ready?
Lost by Indiana special teams.
Tonight the band will open its halftime show with the 1966 classic hit famously performed by the Blues Brothers. Here's Give Me Some Love. Now we will feature our auxiliary squads under the student leadership of color guard captain Paige Penn, co-captain Corey Master of Riley knockout captains Mia Savannah and Emma Banana, and quartermaster Riley Huff, major and captain Lexi Sedman, and feature tournament Madison Zellmeyer. Our squads will perform a tune widely considered to be simply one of the most dynamic, hard-rocking songs of its time. All the way from 1971, here's Led Zeppelin's smash hard rock hit, Rock and Roll. 2006 alternative rock hit by the band My Chemical Romance.
Brendan!
Here's Welcome to the Love Parade with Trumpet Solos and Good Slow by Isaac Bruce.
Did you see him? Yeah.
We're back here on the High Top Sports Network. Great job as always by the Knoch marching band. Once again, Knoch beats Indiana 27-26 on Madam Morganti. Mason Flanagan is fighting through mic issues, doing a good job fighting through, doing the best he can. So, Mason, what do you think the difference was in this game tonight?
I'll have to tell you the turnovers for sure. Indiana gave up 3 turnovers, and another thing, Indiana, the special teams. You missed the extra point, and then even if you just kicked extra points and you made them, they could have won this game. It's a 1-point difference. You needed 2 of them. Instead, you keep going for 2-point conversions, and they kept missing the 2-point conversions. That's so two missed 2-point conversions and a missed extra point. That's 5 points off the board. They did make the one, so okay, that leaves 3 points that you should have had, and you hate to the turnovers and the special teams.
Yeah, Indiana committed 3 turnovers compared to Knoch 0. Indiana fumbled on their first 2 drives, McGowan recovered the first fumble, and he also recovered the second one. But the difference was he returned that fumble 22 yards to the end zone, and then on the 3rd and 39, Flint just threw it up, as I called kind of a hand punt, as Cody Mullen intercepted it for Knoch. We have some final scores on the Greater Allegheny Conference for you. Plum defeats Highlands 23-21. Highlands' is second consecutive conference loss. Plum improves to 2-1 in conference play. I'll bring up the other scores for you real quick. Hampton, they were winners tonight over Greensburg-Salem, 45-6. Hampton now still in first place in the Greater Allegheny Conference. In Armstrong and Mars, last I checked, it was 37-0. Armstrong was leading Mars as that game is winding down. Looks like that is a final, though. Armstrong defeated Mars 37-0. Other games on High Top Sports Network for you. Kiski has lost for the first time this season. They lost to North Hills 14-10.
Yeah, that's a tough one there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the final game that we covered between Freeport Yellow Jackets and the Valley Vikings, looks like that game is in the fourth quarter wrapping up. Freeport leads Valley 33-6. Coming up, as I get out my notes, coming up for these teams real quickly, Knoch next week will hit the road. No, they're not going to the planet Mars. They're going to go to the town of Mars and take on the Fighting Planets at 7 o'clock. And for Indiana, they'll go back home as they will take on the Highlands Golden Rams, as, again, these teams will be fighting for playoff position all season long. Knoch helped its cause there. Indiana, as both Knoch and Indiana 1-2 in conference play. Knoch holds the tiebreaker with the head-to-head victory over Indiana. So that'll do for our coverage at Knoch Knights Athletic Stadium. Once again, Knoch a winner over Indiana 27-6. For Mason Flanagan, I'm Adam Morgantis. You watched WPIAL football on the High Top Sports Network. Have a good night, everybody.